Somewhere in the Arizona desert, there's a creature that people have feared, killed, and completely misunderstood for over 100 years. It moves slowly. It's venomous. It looks like it crawled straight out of a horror movie. But the story you've been told about it for years is almost entirely wrong, because it's actually a walking pharmacy. Welcome to America's backyard. Today, we're going to learn the real face of one of the most misunderstood animals in the American Southwest, the Gila monster. And I'll bet that by the end of this video, you'll feel bad about every single Gila monster that's ever been killed. But first, let's talk about the real danger in the desert. Every year, thousands of people across Arizona and the surrounding area rush to the ER. Some get bitten by snakes, some get stung by scorpions. And in the middle of all that fear, one animal gets unfairly branded as one of the most dangerous creatures in the desert. The facts, though, say something completely different. This is a Gila monster, one of only two venomous lizards on the entire planet. It has skin that looks like black and orange beads, a tail it uses to store fat, and a jaw that once it bites down is genuinely hard to pry off. Yep, sounds terrifying. But now let's break down, one by one, just how wrong everything you've heard about it really is. Myth number one, Gila monsters are aggressive. This is the thing you've probably heard most about them. And it's embarrassingly wrong, because they move slowly. They're also shy, and on top of that, they spend 95% of their lives underground. Yep, 95%. So unless you go looking for one, actually running into one would be surprising. So they're not stalking hikers, they're not lying in ambush under rocks to attack either. Yep, there are people it has bitten, people who handled the animal directly and provoked it. If you leave it alone, it'll do exactly what it's been doing for millions of years, disappear underground. Now let's get to myth number two. A single bite can kill an adult human. This has been repeated so many times that everyone's started to believe it. Yep, it's venomous. But there is no verified fatal bite on a healthy adult in modern medical history. Its venom causes serious pain, swelling, and a drop in blood pressure, but it doesn't have the power to kill a person. In fact, compared to a rattlesnake, the Gila monster doesn't even count as a threat. And myth number three, it injects its venom like a snake does. That's not true either. Snakes have hollow fangs that inject venom under pressure. The Gila monster doesn't have that. Its venom flows through grooves in its lower teeth, and it only gets into the wound because the animal chews. Yep, you heard that right. It chews. Its bite isn't a hit and run. The Gila monster locks its jaw and works the venom into the wound over time. To do that, it moves its jaw almost like it's grinding. That's why it can hang on to the bite site for minutes at a time. While we're at it, here's a reminder. Don't try to pick it up. It doesn't like that. Now let's set these myths aside and get to the part almost nobody talks about. Its venom has actually saved millions of human lives. Scientists studying Gila monster venom identified a compound called exendin-4. And this compound does something remarkable in the human body. It triggers insulin release. This discovery led directly to the development of a drug called exenatide, sold under the name beaded, and today it's used worldwide to treat type 2 diabetes. Yep, the venom of an animal that people have killed out of fear for 100 years is quite literally keeping diabetes patients alive today. And that's not all. You know those famous weight loss drugs and obesity drugs that Hollywood celebrities and the whole world are talking about right now? The entire scientific path behind those drugs was opened up by this lizard's secretion. Scientists discovered this formula while studying how it manages to withstand hunger so well. So today, at the foundation of a multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry, there's the path opened up by this creature slowly walking through the Arizona desert. Gila monsters have an incredible build. They can go months, even close to a year, without eating anything. They store massive fat reserves in that thick tail, and their metabolism is so slow that just a few large meals a year is enough to sustain them. Yep, I'm pretty jealous of it right now. But evolving this way makes sense because it lives in a desert where food is unpredictable and water is scarce. So why does this animal get killed? For the usual reason, mostly: fear, and also not knowing what it actually is. The Gila monster looks slow and strange. They even put the word monster in its name. And on top of that, everyone knows it's venomous. So instead of just keeping their distance, people tend to reach for a shovel when they see one. So why did they call this animal a monster in the first place? The story actually goes back to the 19th century. The first settlers along the banks of the Gila River encountered this creature back then. Because of its skin gleaming in the desert heat and its hissing sound, they named it the Gila monster. But don't forget this fact either. Gila monsters are protected by law in Arizona because their populations are shrinking every year, so killing, capturing, or harming one is illegal. These animals also reproduce very slowly. Females only lay eggs once every 2 years, and it takes 10 months for the young to hatch from the egg. But here's an interesting detail. The mother Gila lays her eggs towards summer. The young actually finish developing inside the egg by fall, but they choose to stay in the egg. They spend the entire winter frozen in that dark underground den. When spring comes, they emerge and meet the world for the first time. I mentioned that these creatures' skin looks beaded. Actually, inside every one of those bead-like structures are tiny pieces of bone. So the Gila monster basically walks around armored like a knight. Thanks to that armor, it's protected from both the heat and from rattlesnakes. So, the next time you spot that black and orange beaded skin creature in the Arizona desert, just watch it, because it's not hunting you, and as long as you don't approach it, it won't harm you either. So, what do you think about this one? Write it in the comments. As always, I love you all. See you in the next video.